So, good afternoon. We are back again. This time we are going to talk about Antonio Conte. We're going to talk about Tottenham, the history of the Tottenham. And he has been sacked, relieved of his duties. Mutual consent is what has been put out as, but basically he's been sacked and took his pay pretty much. Make sure you are smashing the like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Very, very close to 9K as well. So I do appreciate that. This channel is flying up at the minute. Make sure you do go back and check out all of the content on the channel as well. Massively appreciate that. But we are going to talk about Tottenham. They issued a statement last night saying this, and I find it kind of funny actually, because even on the statement, they're offering 15% off of their clothing. This football club, man, I swear. But anyway, let's read out what it says. We can announce that head coach Antonio Conte has left the club by mutual agreement. We achieved Champions League qualification in Antonio's first season at the club. We thank Antonio for his contribution and wish him well for the future. Christian Stellini will take the team as acting head coach for the remainder of the season, along with Ryan Mason as assistant head coach. Daniel Levy, the chairman, said this: "We have 10 Premier League games remaining, and we have to have a fight on our hands for Champions League place. We all need to pull together. Everyone has to step up to ensure the highest possible finish for our club and amazing, loyal supporters." And like I said, right underneath that, you have this lovely little thing here, 15% off of menswear. That, my friends, sums up that football club in an absolute nutshell. That football club is a shambles. It is a disgrace. I'm not just saying that because I'm an Arsenal fan. It is actually a shambles what is happening in that football club. And the amount of Tottenham fans I've seen, absolutely over the moon. He's been sacked. Cool, great. We'll come to that in a second. But they've built this stadium, beautiful stadium, fantastic looking stadium, probably the best stadium in Europe, or one of them anyway. Insane. Absolutely stunning. But they're doing NFL. They're doing boxing. They're doing Beyonce, Lady Gaga, WizKid. They've got an F1 go-karting track being built underneath the stadium. They're going to have a hotel, apparently. They're going to have nightclubs there. They're going to have restaurants. It's basically the North London O2. They're doing everything they can off the pitch, but not really doing a great deal on the pitch. I'm 41 in the summer, in June. And in my lifetime, I've seen that lot win 4 trophies. When my team was in its peak banter era of being absolutely battered everywhere we went, we still nicked 4 FA Cups. The problem with that football club is not the managers. It is the mindset of not only the fan base, not all the fans, but a large percentage of the fans. It is the mindset of ENIC, the ownership, Joe Lewis, Daniel Levy. And it is the mindset of the players that go there. I see a video doing the rounds the other day of Eric Dyer, and there was somebody standing there in a Tottenham shirt interviewing just, "Oh yeah, Tottenham don't win anything," and ha. And Eric Dyer's laughing at that. No, we don't. It almost seems like that club is just one comfortable football club that's just there for the money. They're all there for the money. The players, the managers, the staff, the hierarchy, they're all just comfortable. They're all very happy not achieving anything. And long may it continue, by the way. I don't particularly, and people take this in the wrong way, I don't see Tottenham as the rival to Arsenal. You are not my rivals, Tottenham. You're not. I'm not rivals with a team that win nothing. My rivals are teams that win stuff. Chelsea are a rival, in my opinion. They win stuff. They win big competitions, big titles, big trophies. Tottenham don't win anything. And the fact that they've gone down this route of trying to go with tried and tested, but previously they went down a different route. I had Nuno Espirito Santo there for 3 months, got sacked. They then went with Jose, bringing him in. Win now manager. He gets them to a cup final, and then they sack him 5 days before it. Why? I'll tell you why. Because they were having to pay him out a lot more of that if he won them it. That is the mentality of that football club. I want to share this as well. This is the reason he's been relieved of his duties. So let's have a little look at this, people. Let's have a little look at this.
Professional. We paid, the club paid us a lot of money. The players receive money. Me receive money. You understand? Not to find excuse and don't have spirit, or don't show the sense of belongings, or don't show sense of responsibility, because we are showing this. And for me, this is unacceptable for me, because this is the first time in my career to see a situation like this.
The first time in his career to see a situation like this. And this is the thing with Antonio Conte. Whether you rate him as a manager or not, whether you think his tactics stink, whether you think he's actually any good at his job, it's kind of irrelevant. What he's saying there is that club is disgusting from top to bottom, and the whole attitude of the football club is disgusting. This is a guy who walked out of Inter Milan because he didn't get what he wanted in terms of, we have to sell to buy. It was like, I've just won you a league title. What do you mean you have to sell the players to buy more? I can deliver now. Again, I've just delivered. Give me what I need and I'll deliver, and we'll stay at the top level. He then leaves, goes to Tottenham, and it's just been a circus. But anyway, let's carry on. Because this gets funnier.
And until now, I wasn't able to change. Not to change, but compare last season, the situation went to become worst.
Why, Antonio?
I don't know if you could hear that. The situation went on to be worse. The journalist in the background goes, "Why, Antonio?"
Why do you think it is like this?
Why? I don't know, because they are used here. They're used here. Don't play for something important. Yeah. And they don't play. They don't want to play under pressure. They don't want to play under stress. Yeah, it's easy in this way. And Tottenham story is this: 20 years that there is the owner and never won something. But why?
Hey, listen, whether you like him or not, he's actually spitting facts. Like, real talk. 20 years, the owner's been here, and they don't compete for anything. They don't win anything. Why? And people will sit there and say he was trying to get sacked. He wasn't trying to get sacked, in my opinion. I just think he's fed up of his reputation being put through the gutter with players, staff, ownership that just genuinely ain't interested and couldn't care less about winning anything. Now, listen, I don't take any of the blame away from him. Yeah, and the only thing about that was a 9-minute interview. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I was the only one to play that clip. But the one thing I'll say about the 9 minutes where he just imploded and went nuts was the fact that he never really made himself accountable either. His tactics stink at times. But at the same time, I get why he is very frustrated. And listen, it is the history of the Tottenham. That's basically what he's saying. Chiellini told us 5 years ago, well, it's the history of the Tottenham. It is still the history of the Tottenham 5 years later. It has been this way most of my life. They don't compete. They don't try to compete. They're very comfortable just taking millions each. The club's getting bigger and bigger commercially, globally, financially. And they're not doing anything on the pitch. Now, Daniel Levy's a shambles. If I was a Tottenham fan, God forbid, if I was a Tottenham fan, I'd be going nuts about that football club. Like, my football club's been a shambles for a long, long time. Hence why we've not won a title for 19 years, which is the longest in Arsenal's history, by the way. But I wanted Wenger out. Yeah, this loser mentality of fourth is a trophy is rife in modern football, especially in England. Fourth is not a trophy. And the fact that Daniel Levy's come out and said we can still fight for top four and Champions League spots. Champions League for what? Because they're going to get into the Champions League. They're going to get knocked out in the knockout stages. Then they're going to fight for top four, get in the Champions League, get knocked out in the knockout stages. Round and around and around that football club go. My club did that for the last decade of Wenger. It's mad. This loser mentality of top four has been peddled by all these football clubs and pushed out there by the journalists that they've got in their back pockets now, all these big clubs in England, and by Sky Sports, BT Sport, Talk Sport, all the other media outlets. They all sit there and they're all culpable of this loser mindset of, yeah, but you've got to get top four. Big six, the big six. What do you mean big six? They ain't big six. They don't win anything. How are they in the big six? They're not big. They don't win anything. Yes, I know trophies are only one part of being a big football club, but for me, it's a major factor. When you think of the best teams on the planet, you'd never think of this lot. Real Madrid, why? Because they win stuff. Bayern Munich, why? Because they win stuff. Barca, why? Because they win stuff. Like, you could go on and on. Like, it's crazy. It's actually crazy. And if Tottenham had any fans out there, rather than that actually want change, rather than just sitting online crying about the ownership, make a stand. It's your football club. Yeah, it's your football club. Without the fans, there ain't a football club. Without people buying all this merchandise, which is what they want. Why do teams do tours of America and tours of Australia and tours of Singapore? Why do the teams, when they do that, give more access to the fans in them countries, to the players and the staff, than they do in England? Why? Because they know the fans are turn up in England every single week. No matter how crap the team is, fans are turning up. Yeah, so they don't need to give access. But now what they want is they want a global audience, because the global audience are made up of fans that 99.9% of them financially, logistically, can't get to games. But they'll buy all the merch. They'll buy everything because they want to feel closer to the football club. And I understand and get that. But at the same time, you're on a very, very slippery slope if the match day fans don't make a stand against a football club when it is blatantly taking the piss. And that club has done that for 20 years under Levy and Enoch. Yeah, and they're only concerned about money. Yeah, and unfortunately, football in the Premier League is rife with clubs like this that are just there to make up the numbers, just there for the Champions League money, just there for the Europa League money. How is it even possible? And the whole footballing structure in England needs changing. How is it even possible that Southampton, who are sat bottom of the table, if they get relegated, are probably going to get the best part of 100-odd million in parachute payments? But Man United, who have just won a trophy in the Carabao Cup, gets 100 grand prize money for winning and being successful. Make it make sense. Makes no sense. And that is why there's clubs like Tottenham that ain't interested in trophies. If you win the FA Cup, I think by knocking out teams along the way and winning it, I think you end up with about 7 million quid. So you could do a cup double and end up with about 7 mil. Or you could qualify for Champions League and get 5 times, 6 times, 7 times that money. And that is a problem. And that is what that club, especially, have cottoned on to. But let me know your thoughts, feelings, and opinions down below in the comment section. Do batter the like button for the algorithm. I'd appreciate that. And let me know what you think. Are you a Tottenham fan that is angry? Me personally, I wouldn't be going to games. I'd be not spending another penny on that club if it was my club. Would not be spending another penny on that. But it is what it is. Let me know your thoughts and feelings on that. Let me know why the history of the Tottenham is like this. Maybe you've got a different insight to it. I'd love to hear it. And I'll be back again tomorrow with another update. Don't know what it'll be about. Anything that's trending, anything that's worth speaking about will be on this channel. It's not just going to football, boxing, and stuff like that. Whatever's topical, I'll be reacting to. So all have a blessed Monday, whatever it is you're doing. And we're out of here. Adios, amigos. Ciao.